Welcome to another edition of Odyssey House Journals. I'm Randall Carlisle, and my usual cohort, Trip Mitchell, as you can see, is not sitting there. We don't even have a chair for him. As you know, Trip and I are both recovering alcoholics. The sad news today is that Trip relapsed and he's at a bar. Everybody's looking now. That's a joke. That's a joke. Trip's not going to appreciate that. He will be back for next week's program. But of course, when we're talking about recovery and addiction, that happens frequently with people. My guest is C.J. Armstrong. Welcome, C.J.
Hi, how's it going?
And he is one of our, as I said, this podcast is about stories about addiction and recovery, and you are a prime example of both, right?
Yes, that's true.
Let's start out, right? I hate to always start out with the bad, but that sort of sucks people in because they want to know what you did to get into the Odyssey program and then what you're doing now. So let's start with what your past life, how you came to Odyssey.
It was just a lot of running from my problems.
Which were?
Well, drama with my son's mom. She wasn't letting me see my son. Plus, I already had legal troubles. I had been caught with a couple different paraphernalia charges, and then, and so I ended up moving out to Salt Lake with my dad. My dad was in addiction, like he was in active addiction, and he didn't help any. He kind of, put dope in my hand. If you need money, here's just a way to get it. Yeah, and
that's a heck of a parenting trait, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something you're not going to do with your kids.
No, definitely. Yeah. No, definitely not.
So if you needed money to buy dope, he'd give it to you.
Well, he'd give me dope so I could sell it, so I could make more, so I could have my own dope. So
what age are we talking about?
This was recent. I was only 23. That was when I started my drug use, like heavy drug use. I had been smoking marijuana through junior high and high school. I partied a little bit, but it didn't get super out of hand, uncontrollable until me and my son's mom split, and it was just that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
What was your drug of choice?
It was meth. It was meth, and then it moved to meth and heroin, but it was always mainly meth.
Yeah, I've seen recent news stories that more and more people are checking into treatment, claiming they use both meth and heroin. And I'm an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic, so I don't quite understand that. So heroin's a downer and meth's an upper. Why would you do both?
Sometimes you'd be way too high. You'd be used too much meth and you're too up, so you needed to come down. So you'd use some heroin, kind of.
Or vice versa, right?
Yeah, vice versa. Kind of try to level yourself out. But like I had grew up in it. Both my parents were active drug addicts. My grandfather was a meth user, so I grew up in it.
We were talking before the podcast whether addiction is genetic or a lifestyle choice or both. But it sounds like. What do you think?
I don't want to say it's genetic because I feel like that'd be kind of like pushing blame off on, pushing off on somebody else because it's my ultimate choice. Right. Nobody gets to take that choice as my choice, but I would say the addictive tendencies, my addictive personalities, that would be a trait. That's what I would say would be a trait.
Now, see, I traced my lineage, and on the paternal side of my family, for like 4 generations, all the males were alcoholics.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think I was predisposed to become an alcoholic if I drank. Okay, and whereas somebody else could be a quote normal drinker and not go way off the deep end like I did. And so I think there is a combination of genetics as well as your choices. You're right, because we all have. You can blame it. I can say it went back 10 generations of alcoholics, but I'm still the one who decided to drink.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I didn't want to quite put the addiction part on, genetics, but the addictive personality definitely, because I mean, I could be addicted to gambling. My dad's addicted to gambling and drugs. You know what I mean? So it's like addiction. I could be, gambling addict or whatever. There's so many different things you could be addicted to besides drugs. But I think I'd get that. That would be a trait.
So what was your... Tripp and I and Lee, who's behind the camera, go to AA, and at AA meetings we talk about hitting rock bottom. Did you ever hit a rock bottom?
As rock bottom as I could get at that moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could go further now, but at that moment, yeah, I would say that was my rock bottom. I didn't really have a place to go. I was kind of, couch surfing. I wasn't able to see my son. My whole family had turned on me. I was way underweight. Like, I had nothing. Like, I was...
And you're pretty buff now.
Yeah, I've gained a lot of weight since then. But yeah, I had nothing. I would consider that my rock bottom. I was pretty much homeless on the street. I mean, I had people that they used, and I would have something they want, so they let me kind of stay there. But being homeless on the street with nothing, what got me? Go ahead.
But people watching this, we do have people who are not addicted to anything watching these podcasts, and I've often had long conversations with people who don't understand addiction. Why in the first place would you were smoking pot as a kid growing up? You get high, that's the point of it. And my point was drinking when I was a kid to get high. Why do you use drugs? I mean, that's a deep question, and it's pretty hard to figure out. But
I think everybody would have a different answer, but for me, I think it was the numbing part. Now, I'm an emotional person as it is. Like, I feel my emotions, and I enjoy that. I like that because then I get to feel everything that comes with that. But there were some emotions that I just didn't want to feel anymore. I was just tired of that. The abandonment piece, I had felt like everybody had turned on me. When I split with my son's mom, my little brother was fighting with me because I was fighting with her. And I was already on bad terms with my family, trying to build because of past relationships and past choices. And it wasn't even nothing with drugs or, but just bad choices I made.
And it's stuff you didn't want to think about.
Yeah, right? And I just felt completely alone, and that was where the addictive personality came in, and it was there in front of me. I mainly came out here to Salt Lake just because I needed somewhere to go. So I came out here to see my dad. I knew he was out here, so I came out here just searching for my dad for help. You know what I mean? Like a normal kid would do, looking for their parent for help, guidance.
And your dad says, here, have some dope, kid.
I didn't know that he was in active addiction, but he had somewhere I could stay for the moment, so I did, and it kind of just, it was in front of me. I already felt like worthless, horrible. I had low self-worth issues at the time, and I just gave up.
A lot of people don't understand, and I mean, I can speak for myself, that there's a lot of shame associated with it, and you don't feel good about. I think I can speak for everybody. Nobody's proud of the fact that, hey, I'm an alcoholic or I'm a drug addict. I mean, and you don't want to share it with people. You don't want people to know necessarily.
Definitely. I've tried to be more open about who I am, because I mean, that's my past makes me who I am. So what I've been through, if the person that I'm telling that to doesn't like that, then I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm just being upfront, letting you know where I come from. But I do get that. There's certain times where I'm like, oh, should I let this person know? Will it, damage what I'm trying to build? What? And so
Are you single now?
No, I'm dating somebody at the moment.
Now, when you date, I've always had this problem. I'm single. I went through 4 wives. When you date someone, do you tell them right off? You say, yeah, I'm a recovering addict, or I'm a recovering alcoholic. What do you do?
I maybe not right out. But
nice to meet you, Debbie. I'm a recovering addict.
But I don't know. That's kind of just like the building of seeing where it'll go. Whether it's just a couple dates, or if I'm trying to actually build something with the person. If I'm if I'm gonna try to date them for a long period of time, then definitely they're going to know, you know, for at least after the first, you know, week or two that we've been talking. I know it's kind of consistent. Yeah.
What kind of response do you get? I've had varying responses. You know, some people will just sort of look at you and not want to go out with you again, or whatever. What kind of responses have you gotten?
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of dating. After I left Odyssey House, I was already dating somebody. We ended that, and I just kind of worked on me and just was trying to learn to love me. So I just recently started dating somebody, but I had already met her through this program I did. Work is the Way. I did this program when I was in Odyssey, and I met this chef. She's amazing, Chef Gloria. And her granddaughter came in and was kind of like testing the food and whatnot, and I met her through that way. So
she knew.
She already knew. Yeah, she already knew who I was. Her family, you know, knew where I've been through. So it was kind of already. I didn't have to worry about that.
If you're watching, addiction is a very complicated and lifelong disease that many of us are trying to deal with. We're not trying to push Odyssey House on people because there's a million different ways to get sober for recovery. But if you are interested, if you want to give a call, the number is 801-322-3222. And by calling, it doesn't mean you call up and they say, okay, you're in Odyssey. You can ask any questions you want about our program, or even go to our website, which is odysseyhouse.org, and it'll explain our program. And most treatment centers have an explanation of the program, how it works, how long it goes, that kind of stuff, how much it costs. And the one thing I would say that I'm sort of proud about working at Odyssey now is that we can honestly say that we can take you into our program regardless of your ability to pay. We're going to find either through Medicaid, or we accept all kinds of, we're in network with all insurances, or if you can't get any kind of funding, we will scholarship you. So I mean, it's nice to be, because in the old days people were prevented from going to treatment because of money. But now if you can get anybody in, that's a good sign. How far in are we? Maybe we'll take a break now, because we've talked about the bad, the ugly, and we're going to talk about the good part, because CJ has a really uplifting story that all of us at Odyssey are extremely proud of, and we'll get to that after we take this short commercial break. Welcome back to Odyssey House Journals. We are with CJ Armstrong, who is a graduate. You're a graduate of Odyssey, yes. Right? Have you walked yet or not?
Yeah, I'm a graduate. I walked, and
the last gala.
Yep, the last gala, just barely.
We have 2 galas a year, and graduating from Odyssey House is no small task.
No.
How long have you been in the program?
About 2 years. Yeah. Total. I came in from jail, and I did 10 and a half months of inpatient treatment, and then I did like 5 or 6 for outpatient, and then I was a graduate.
People watching, or when they call and they say, I have a son or a daughter that has a problem or anything, they'll say, how long is your program? And the explanation sounds like I'm trying to avoid an answer, but my answer is it all depends on how you do in the program. So
definitely. Yeah.
Can you explain that? Because people don't understand, because you see ads on TV. For some of the for-profits will say 28 days and your life will be changed forever.
Yeah.
And you get to live in this posh place and have a masseuse and a private chef and everything. But overcoming addiction, you didn't spend just 28 days becoming an addict.
That is the main piece I tell everybody. I'm like, because they're always talking about, I've been here for 2 months or 3 months. I'm like, how long did it take you to get here though? 28 years of being an addict. And being recovering whatnot. I've always been, and I grew up in it. It's a behavior. It's part of my behavior. So it took me time to kind of change that.
What now? Somebody might ask, okay, how long did you say you were in residential?
10 and a half months.
Okay, 10 and a half months. What in the world did you do for 10 and a half months to help you?
Man, there's a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different staff members that helped me when I was there. But I had to work on my low self-worth, my abandonment issues, and my codependency issues. Those were the main things that like kept popping up and kept, troubling me. I had different interventions for getting in trouble a couple different times for breaking the rules, but that's how you learn. You learn from making the mistakes. Eventually it paid off. It worked.
What for people who have never dealt with the program, what are some of the rules? I mean, what?
So they have the cardinal rules. No sex, no stealing, no fighting, no contraband or drugs, and then they have the no knowledge of, which is knowledge of any of those other rules.
So in other words, if you see someone breaking those rules, you have to...
Yeah, if you don't say anything about it, then that is breaking the cardinal rules.
Which is an attempt to keep everybody clean in the therapeutic community.
And at the time, the rules don't seem like they make too much sense, but I don't know. It took me time before I realized why they were there. Still to this day, there's some of them that, slowly I'll understand them more and more. But there's just different things like low boundaries or...
What does that mean?
I mean, like I had very low boundaries with women. I would let women treat me however, do whatever, and I would always try to flirt and talk to them. And I don't know, I had to find, more of a respect for myself and them, and realize that I don't want to portray that type of image, but it took time,
Is it fair to say that one of the... My observation is, because I've been at Odyssey over 2 years now, and I've followed a lot of people through the program, that the most successful people are people who have learned to love themselves first.
Yeah. It was challenging, because like I said, I came out of Odyssey into a relationship, after leaving a horrible relationship, right? With my son's mom, we were toxic for each other. We're great now, we're good as friends, but at that time we were not good as, partners. Super toxic relationship. I jumped into addiction, and then after addiction I went straight into another relationship, and I realized that, and so it was something that I kind of talked myself into. I was like, okay, I need to take a break and just worry about me. And so that's when I ended up ending things with her, so that way I could just work on me and figure out how to love myself and be happy with who I am.
My problem was always a woman, having a woman who loved me or wanted me or whatever, made me feel good about myself, and so I was always relying on that kind of input to feel good. And it works so much better to feel good about yourself and then get into a relationship,
Yeah, I don't know. I tell people all the time, self-care is it's a big part of recovery. Being able to just take yourself out and and treat yourself and be happy with yourself, whether it's shopping and whatnot. Treat yourself. Nobody else is. Treat yourself. That's, instead of worrying about trying to treat somebody else and be in a relationship, I treat myself and be happy with myself. And
because you deserve good things.
Definitely,
everybody does.
Definitely, I spend a lot of time with my family now. That's mainly what I do. I get off work, I go home and I hang out with my aunt, my 2 cousins, or my sister. Get my son every weekend. So
one of the reasons, one of the things I like about Odyssey's program, and a lot of other programs too, employ a lot of people after they get out of the program to work in the program, because it's a lot easier for, if your drug of choice was meth, and you run into somebody else who's just entering the program and that's their drug of choice, they'll listen to you a lot more than they will somebody, like if I walked in and I said, well, I have a PhD in psychiatry or something, they'll listen to you first.
And it's being able to relate to, the person that is checking in with you, and talking to you. I was lucky enough to have a lot of staff members there that did that for me. Even after I had left, I think I was a graduate, and there was just a day I was, I was feeling real low and was kind of wanting to use. I started driving out to Salt Lake, and it kind of autopiloted straight to Odyssey House, and I went and checked in with some of the staff members there, and it was good. It was what I needed.
We didn't tell you we put an autopilot on people's cars when they leave the program, and you drive right back there. Yeah, you get stuck. And we're really proud of CJ because CJ is now Tell them about your job at Odyssey. An
I'm,
important one.
Yeah, I'm
for bellies.
Definitely, yeah. I'm the new kitchen manager at the adult house downtown, and I love it. I was in the kitchen department when I was in the house, and so it's kind of comfortable. I already kind of know what's going on. I know how the kitchen runs, and I know the rules of the program, so I fit right in there easy.
And people don't realize what a tough job that is. I mean, how many people do you serve food to every day?
Usually we serve. I usually make food for about 100 people at least.
For each meal?
Yeah, for each meal. That's 3 meals a day. Plus, we do snack throughout the day a couple times. So yeah, it's definitely a big job that.
And you have to order the food ahead of time and plan everything.
Yep, I order every week. I get the food at the end of the week and kind of plan out the menu for the following week, and then we just have at it. We improvise a lot though. We have fun. I have a good crew. They like to improvise, and I let them. They make good meals.
And people may not realize it because I've eaten lunch or dinner at your place and a lot of our other houses and. Yeah, you may not like the program when you first go in. Nobody who's an alcoholic or an addict likes going to a treatment program, but the food's very good.
Yeah.
And most people say they gain a lot of weight while they're there.
Definitely. I know I did. I went in, came from jail, working out, whatever, and as soon as I got there, I think I worked out for maybe a couple weeks and stopped. I was just like, oh, yep, I'm just going to eat. But no, we have really good kitchen managers at all of our facilities, and we all try to make sure that we have decent meals for these guys.
The house that he works at is on 6th East, between First South and South Temple.
Yep.
Right? So it's a blue and white house that has the Odyssey colors and it has a sign out front, but once a week you'll drive by there and you'll see this whole line there'll be a bunch of trucks pulled up there and a whole line of people, and the dining room and the kitchen is upstairs in this old house, so it's like describe that. I mean,
it gets hectic. It's fun. It's a good vibe for the most part. It's kind of like family dinner, or family lunch, whichever.
Just a huge family.
Yeah, but everybody. I mean, because we'll have graduates come in, to have some lunch with us.
Sure.
We have different workers there working on certain things at the time, and so we always have different people there. So that's why we try to plan for other people coming.
Recently, we had and we're not talking just like sloppy joes or spaghetti. Recently, we had a cook-off involving. We have 4 residential facilities, so we'd have 4 kitchen managers, and us poor people in administration had to sample all the food and vote on it, which was a tough job.
Right.
But describe some of the. So they all put on their best. They all came up with dishes to compete against each other, and describe some of the stuff we were eating. I mean, it was pretty exotic stuff.
Oh, some of it I couldn't even name, and I work with food. But no, they had chicken roulade there. They had a bunch of different desserts. They had a cream puff, a couple different cheesecakes. We had a chocolate ganache. Oh man, it was good.
And some dishes that had mussels.
There was mussels. Yeah, there was a dish with mussels. I think that was the Meadowbrook house, but I think they ended up winning too. They had mussels in it with chicken roulade and then something else. It was
really good.
We had lamb.
And we actually put a video up on our Odyssey House Facebook page showing some of the dishes that were prepared, and then all of us pigging out and then voting, and who won? Meadowbrook won.
Yeah, Meadowbrook won first place. Mill Creek won second. Lighthouse got third, and then we got fourth.
Wow. Yeah. What did you prepare?
We made a leg of lamb. We marinated it 2 days with shallots, garlic, a couple different other herbs. In a Greek yogurt, they marinated that, and then we cooked it. We made the chocolate ganache tart, and then we made couscous, Israeli couscous with roasted vegetables. It was great. We didn't presentation it right.
Because a couple were like a presentation, like you might find it.
We showed up a little late and didn't have time to plate it all, so they docked us points for that.
And that probably impressed the judges just with the presentation.
Oh, there were some of them where they had put the silverware on the plate and then dusted it with cocoa dust and then pulled the silverware off so you could see the out. Oh man, it was. They went all out.
It was fun. That's a tough job that we do at Odyssey House is
yeah.
judging these guys on food.
Yeah. So
what's next for you? What do you do? You're not going to be the head chef guy at the Adult House forever. What do you want to do next?
I don't know. I've been putting a lot of thought towards that lately. I love Odyssey House, so seeing it, I'm thinking of maybe trying to go further in Odyssey, and unless I move to California with my son, but if I stay here, I want to go further with Odyssey. I love it. It helps keep me sober. I get to give back everything that I've learned. I get to help give back and bestow it on to other people that were in the same spot as me and need that help. Need somebody there.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great.
One of the steps in AA is that you give back.
Yeah.
And that's helped me a lot. Not to mention the fact when I worked in TV, every night after the 10 o'clock news, they'd say, "Hey, let's go to the bar and drink." And not once in 2 years at Odyssey House has anybody at the end of the day said, "Let's go to a bar and drink."
Yeah, let's go have a few. No, that doesn't happen there. No, it's like it's an extension of my family, and I always add on to my family. Everybody's my family, but that's what Odyssey is I know in my time of need, if I ever am in a hard place or I'm about to hit rock bottom or I've already hit it, Odyssey's always there to help me out. I've made so many different, not friendships, but family members through this program. Right. And any program can do that for you. It doesn't have to be Odyssey like you said. Yeah. But that was the one that worked for me, and I'm so thankful for it.
We're proud of you, and I wish you really well in the future, and I hope you cook some more good stuff for another contest before you ever leave the place.
Definitely.
So, and if you're interested in any information about recovery, just call the number 801-322-3222, and my cohort, Trip Mitchell, if he ever comes out of the bar and sobers up, he'll be hopefully here next week. That's, of course, a joke if anybody just tuned in. He's happily sober, as is Lee behind the camera. So we thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.